Hello everyone, my name is Shani Jones and this is KNKY, which stands for Know the New Kinky You. I am your resident certified sex coach, and tonight we will be talking about sploshing. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates. I want your thoughts. Give them to me. Feedback, comments. I want to know. Uh, don't forget to share the content if you think it'll help somebody. Also, don't forget to follow me across all social media and the web at DOYOUKNKY. So this should be a fun topic. All right. So what is sploshing? Well, sploshing is a sexual fetish that incorporates food into your sex life. Now, when people get aroused by seeing or playing with food in a sexual setting, this is sploshing. And it's actually a subset of a bigger umbrella fetish called wham, which is wet and messy. So this is where non-specific to food, but not including bodily substances, you like to make a mess and get these things all over your body. So we're talking about slime, paint, lotions, oils, things like that. There are certain people who enjoy being covered in food or doing the covering or even just watching it be done. So you might be wondering, now, if you're, fairly advanced on the kinky scale and you know what you're into, you might want to say, oh, sploshing is not a big deal. None of it's a big deal. But sploshing is a kink, and there are lots of kinks out there. There are a lot of things, specific things that people are into. And so you kind of have to ask yourself, is this common? Does everybody do this? Well, not everybody, but some people. So just here's a short list of some of our more common kinks. BDSM, which is bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. Something as simple as dirty talk, role playing, voyeurism, which is watching other people have sex, cuckolding, and we talked about it a few times now, it's a threesome, but specifically with some elements of BDSM. So I did a whole big dedicated video, so go check that video out for more information on cuckolding. People who expose themselves in public. You could have a fetish for a particular object like shoes or leather or pantyhose, or so tactile things. I always think this one is interesting, that fisting is a fetish that people are into. And yes, things that incorporate food. So sploshing, and there are other subsets again, but sploshing as a food fetish, yes. According to a report that I read, 37% of men and 41% of women fantasize about sploshing. So, what's the appeal? You might ask, like, why are people into this? So, first answer is people are into all kinds of stuff. I mean, without actually going through some type of psychoanalysis of, the roots of it, the short answer is because they like it. Why do you like certain things? Let's say if it was ice cream, which they do use in splashing. Do you prefer chocolate over vanilla? Ice cream is ice cream, but you might have a preference, right? So with splashing, there is this BDSM aspect, right? The interaction can be between two people, can be very dominant and then submissive. So if you have somebody that is being the submissive and is receiving or being covered with the food, while the other person is taking control and just, there's this whole aspect. Also, BDSM as a part of control and humiliation, you know, because people get off on that as part of a BDSM kink. There's also being attracted to or aroused by that tactile sensation, you know, the different textures of things on your body and how they feel against your skin. So prior to getting my certification as a sex coach, I had to attend a SAR, and a SAR is a sexual attitude reassessment. And during this SAR, they exposed you to all kinds of stuff. And I think it was actually the first time I had heard of the term sploshing, right? And so I was shown a video. And in this video, there are two women. And the two women are in a bathtub. And the one woman who was the dom, you know, and don't get me wrong, she wasn't like a super aggressive, you know, whips and chains. No, it wasn't that. She was the dominant one. She was the one who was pouring all of the food onto the submissive. Now, the submissive, well, let me go with the dom first. The dom was very deliberate about what it is that she was doing, because it was that certain things kind of went together. The hot versus the cold, the sticky. Like if she put something sticky on you, then she might put, let's say, some Rice Krispie treats. Then there's the elements of touch and massage. So they never had sex. Never had sex in this video. Never had sex, but they were in a very sensual and sexual place. There was definitely a very strong dynamic there. And, you know, again, hot versus cold, soft versus warm, hard, you know, being able to, and then there was like a certain level of punishment. So I believe that she had to hold an egg in her mouth, a raw egg, and if she couldn't contain it and broke the egg, then she had to do something simple like this. People are into all kinds of stuff, and if sploshing, if I piqued your interest perhaps on sploshing and you want to know a little bit more about it, then go back to what I say all the time. Communication is key. You have to talk to your partner. You have to talk honestly with your partner about trying to get to, you're into something. You're into something. You want to explore it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just have the conversation. You might want to try watching a video together, just so, you know, you can get the sense of what it is. Any questions can be asked, things like that. But especially if you're the person that's into it and your partner may or may not be into it and you're introducing it, make sure that it's a video that you think will bring them in and not push them away from your level of interest. You know, not everybody can take raw eggs being thrown at your face 100 miles per hour, or, you know, somebody having soda. Use your imagination about what can happen on these videos, but when you want to not use your imagination, go actually look at a video, be mindful of who your partner is. If you decide to try it, you know, and you haven't done it before, you want to get your foot wet, you know, there are certain things that you can do. You could try, but go slow. So you could try licking chocolate or caramel or honey off of your partner. It's very starts. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Nothing. You can use spaghetti sauce to kind of paint your partner, or massage. You know, paint, massage, especially if it's chunky. If it's chunky, you get different feelings. You could also, last piece of advice, is use a clean cucumber or zucchini-like device, squash, oblong, to apply pressure to the clit. Or you can do, you know, insertion into the vagina. But again, I would say clean and not likely to cut anything, because you don't want to ruin the experience by injuring yourself. So I want to thank you again for spending this time with me. I will see you on the next one, and I hope sincerest hope that you have learned a little bit more about the new kinky you. I'm Shani Jones. I will see you again